Seed banks. Oh, hi, my name is. Wait, what?
Hi, my name is Kiri.
Hi, my name is Kahu. Okay, can we redo it?
Okay. No. Okay. Seed Savers
By
by.
Diana Noonan. Is it?
We all know about banks for money, and most people have heard of food banks and blood banks. But what about seed banks? Students at a small school in the Catlins, Tahakupa school are very familiar with the seed banks. Recently, they found themselves working for one. They were asked to help save a rare species of broadbean.
Seed banks. Seed banks are places in which seeds are looked after for the future. The seeds are kept cool and dry, and they are replaced regularly. Seed banks can be found all around the world. Some store the seeds of essential food crops such as beans, wheat, and rice. Other seed banks are for wild or native plants. Seeds are stored for different reasons. The most important is to ensure biodiversity. This means growing as many different plants and varieties of each plant as possible. We don't want to lose a plant that might one day become important. For example, a new piece may call one variety of potato but not other. What? Or some varieties of corn may grow better in drought conditions caused by climate change. And who knows which wild plant might cure a new disease, because we don't know what the future will bring. It's best to keep our options open. Seed banks are a way of doing this.
Seed saving in New Zealand. New Zealand has many kinds of seed banks, which all work in different ways. Some are run by the home gardeners who help save seeds that grow in their local areas. Other seed banks work across New Zealand. For example, the New Zealand Indigenous Flora Seed Bank collects the seeds of our endangered native plants. Eventually, it wants to bank the seed of every native plant in the country. It's hard to predict which plants may one day be threatened by extinction. Also, there's the Koanga Institute near Wairua. This seed bank looks after the seeds of hundreds of heritage fruits and vegetables that are either from New Zealand or were brought here by our ancestors. Some of these plants are endangered of becoming extinct in their home country. Heritage, very old or passed down from earlier generations.
Seed guardians. Most seeds stay fresh for only a few years. After that, they won't grow into plants, so they need to be replaced. Replacing seed takes a lot of time for a seed bank because it involves growing hundreds, sometimes even thousands of different plants to help with his work. Seed banks use seed guardians. These are volunteers who grow plants that will produce the fresh seed to return to the bank. This is exactly what the students at Tahakupa School did. Joey, a student, explains the Southern Seed Bank asked a local gardener to grow a real broad broad bean that has red flowers. But she had already planted the more common white flowering kind. She was worried about cross pollination, so she came to us. Our school garden didn't have broad beans, and we didn't have close neighbors growing beans. But then we learned that bees can fly a long way in search of pollen, says Casey. Another student at Tahakupa School that made our safe zone had to be double checked. We made sure no one within 3 kilometers of our school was growing the white flowering broad bean. Wait, can I just?
Cross-pollination. To make seeds, both flowers need pollen from another flower. If the other flower is on a plant that is exactly the same kind as the first, the seed will grow into a plant exactly like its two parent plants. But sometimes pollen comes from a plant that is a little different. This is called cross-pollination. It means the resulting seed will grow into a plant that's also different. For example, if the red flowering broad bean cross-pollinate with white flowering broad beans, the next generation of beans may have red, white, or even pink flowers because of their different variety. Pollen, a fine flower that comes from the male part of a flower and allows plants to reproduce. So if I'm like getting like one flower that's one color and another one, and then I'll just put them together.
Holy. Extra ingredients. The Tahakupa school garden had already been dug, so the soil was nice and loose, but no nutrients had been added for a long time. If the rare broad beans were to have the best chance, the students would need to add extra ingredients. We added compost for our school compost bin and buckets of donkey poo, says Izzy. These days, these both contain a lot of nitrogen. Nutrients, minerals such as nitrogen and potassium, which plants need to grow. Oh, this is the night note.
Planting day. Spring arriving. Spring arrived. It was time to sow the beans, but then it started to rain. The rain fell for 3 weeks, and the temperature dropped. It was the worst spring ever, but the seeds needed to grow into the soil if there was to be enough time for them to grow into plants and form seed pods. One day, the rain stopped for a whole morning. The students quickly planted the beans. Then they laid a big sheet of clear plastic over the garden. We did this to help the soil warm up, so the seeds would germinate. As he remembers, the plastic also kept the rain off. This meant that the beans wouldn't get too wet and rot. Lastly, to be extra cautious,
You just spat on me.
Okay. The students built a framework so they could cover.
Sorry. We're down there.
Started to.